We are very excited to welcome you to a very special performance of Jazzmeia Horn and her trio here at KUVO.
Well, hello, audience. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We are here at KUVO 89.3 Jazz, and we're really excited to be here. I have Mr. Victor Gould on piano, Eric Wheeler on the bass, and Gregory Archery on the drum set. Today we are playing some music from my latest record, which will be out on October 25th. And it's called Messages on my very own Empress Legacy Records. The first track we're going to play is called Happy Livin'. This is a tune that I wrote for my late great-grandfather, the Reverend Buford Lee Horn, Sr. He had a lot of crazy stories for me when I was a little girl. One day he said, "Jazz, do you know about the man with the 2 bags?" And I said, "No, Granddaddy, but you're going to tell me about the man with the 2 bags, so tell me." He said there was a man with 2 bags, and he walked along on his journey, and he kept one bag, very small bag, in the front, close to his heart, and it was very small. And he had another bag, it was large, and he kept it on his back, and it had a hole in it. Do you know why it had a hole in it? I said, "No, Granddaddy, tell me why it had a hole in it." He said that bag had a hole in it because as the man walked along on his journey, people said mean things and did mean things, very ugly and hateful things to him. But he would take those things and those feelings and those emotions and those sayings and put them on his back in that bag. And as he walked along, it would fall on out because it had a hole in it. But the small things, the small bag, it wasn't very full, but it was also very small. And it was because the nice and kind gestures that people did and said to him, he kept them on his front, and it wasn't a heavy bag. And it won't be very many for you on your journey. So I'd like to think that I'm continuing his legacy by telling his stories. This song is for him. It's called Happy Livin'. I hope you enjoy it. When I wake up, I know it's such a blessing, and so I really don't be stressing about what the day may bring. I keep my head up high, look through the sky, and if some rain shall fall, the pain will wash away with it. Because people always saying whatever they are saying. I have no time for playing because I spend my time on praying. And whenever it gets dark, I feel the Most High in my heart. And then I look up at the moon and stars to guide my way. I like to think my own thoughts, 'cause I'm smart, very clever, and I can think for myself in any weather. I like to be what I be and who I be when I be happy, living my own life with no strife. It's so free, and I don't feel bad when others make me mad. I keep a hole in my back on my shoulders. Sing my own songs, keep along on my journey of becoming my greatest me, and I just be who I be me. Let me say it again, said I be free to be me, happy me. Oh yeah. yourself in any weather. I like to be what I be and who I be when I be happy living my own life with no strife. It's so free. I don't feel bad when others try to make me mad. I keep a hole in my bag on my shoulders, and just to sing my own songs, and I keep along on my journey of becoming my greatest me. And I just be who I be. I be free to be me. Said I'm free financially and spiritually, abundantly. I am free mentally. Oh yes, I'm free. Sovereignty. I be free grammatically. Oh yes, yes, I'm free. KUVO Jazz. I'm Jazzmeia Horn. Thank you so much for tuning in. Listen, folks, when you feel like giving up, don't. I took a trip on a train one day and I cried my heart out. And I felt like giving up on life because I looked around and I saw things that didn't make sense for me, didn't make sense for my culture. And I tried to be the change that I really wanted to see. But I cried and I wanted to just let go, not necessarily commit suicide or anything like that, but I wanted to quit music. And I heard a voice hover over me, say these words. This is called destiny. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Sit still and listen. Just use your brain. You're here now. Chill. You won't go insane. Destiny is knocking at your door. Will you open? You're here now. So don't ever give in. Just sit still and listen. Just just use your brain. You're here now. Chill. You won't go insane. Destiny is knocking at your door. Will you open? You're here now. So don't you ever give it. Just sit still and listen. Just use your brain. You're here now. So just chill. Won't go insane. Destiny is not knocking at your door. Will you open? You're here now, so don't ever give in. Never give in. Thank you. KUVO Jazz 89.3, Denver, Colorado. That's where we are right now. And we thank you so much for tuning in. Wherever you are in the world, we thank you for listening. We have one more piece for you. Have you ever sat down and wanted your voicemail to sound, I don't know, creative or, uniquely you? I definitely did when I recorded this years ago. If you had my phone number, which you more than likely don't, but if you did and you called my phone and I didn't answer, this is what you would hear. This is called voicemail blues. Well, hello. You reached the voicemail of Jazz Horn, but I'm not home, so leave a message after the tone, and I will call you back. And as a matter of fact, life goes like that. Now peace and love, kisses and hugs. You reached the voicemail blues. Well, hello. You reached the voicemail of Jazz Horn, but I'm not home, so leave a message after the tone, and I'll call you back. And as a matter of fact, life goes like that. Peace and love, kisses and hugs. You reached the voicemail blues. Oh, baby, we die. And I'll call you back. And as a matter of fact, life goes like that. Peace and love, kisses and hugs. You reached the voicemail. You reached the voicemail blues. You reached the voicemail. Voicemail blues. Yeah, folks, thank you so much. That's Victor Gould on the piano over there. Mr. Eric Wheeler on that contrabass fiddle, and Greg Archery on the drum set. I'm Jazzmeia Horn. Thank you so much for tuning in today. May the Most High bless and keep you. Keep supporting this music that we call jazz. Yes, indeed. Voicemail blues. You reached the voicemail blues.
Welcome back to KUVO's Bonfy Stanton Performance Studio. I'm sitting next to the one and only Jazzmeia Horn. Welcome to Denver. Welcome to KUVO.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
My announcer friends here at the radio station love when you snap your fingers, and we love when you count off the songs.
Oh,
Is
well,
that
thank
your
you.
little secret ingredient? Because we love it.
Yeah. Whenever I'm a guest artist on someone else's record, you know, like the Baylor Project. Diane Reeves and I played on one of their pieces a couple of years ago, and they asked me, "Can you count off?" I'm like, "Okay." And, you know, it just became my signature. You know, it's kind of a way of saying, like, I am in control of what's happening without saying I'm in control of what's happening, you know?
I think there's something to the Jazzmeia Horn approach. In fact, your book and your course is called Strive from Within.
Correct.
And so with all that you do in managing Empress Legacy Records, in managing the aspects of your career, your composing, big projects, small projects, touring, you're working with a lot, but the artists of today sort of have to touch all these things, or maybe not. Maybe this is something just you and a few people like to do.
I have a few friends who, they call me and they're like, "Girl, I don't know how you do it. I don't want that much control. I'd like to have, my representation, and I just get up there and do what I need to do and keep it moving." I don't agree with that. Me personally, I'd like to be not necessarily in control over everything, because we know that the Most High is in control over everything. But as it pertains to my career and my style of dress and my message, I would rather speak for myself and not be represented. I can present for myself. So everything from my style of dress to, which is, part of my anthropology, to my song choices, which on this, new record, I'm singing a lot of my original compositions versus standards. And I'm going to keep that energy going for as long as I'm alive, for as long as I can.
That keeps everybody around you on their toes, not just counting off the music. And I see your trio enjoying working with you. You feel the fun, you feel the positive energy. But the cover of your album, as you said before in an interview, the liner notes, the financial details, it is a lot, but that's probably the modern music business.
Yeah. I mean, my experience homeschooling my children, creating and developing a curriculum was easy for me to do because I've done it for my children, so I can do it for someone else's children, like for my approach, Strive from Within. And then managing musicians or people outside of, who I hire. So my musicians are musicians for hire, but the other people are private contractors, my publicists, my booking agency, anyone else that I choose to work with. That's very much like working with my band, learning how to maintain a band or an orchestra, my Noble Force. All of that has just prepared me. That's what I mean by that's the Most High's work. Because I'm not in control of everything. I'm only in control of certain aspects of things. He'll give me a door that's open, and I'll just walk through and try to do the best that I can with what I've been given. So it's more so of blessings that just abundantly flow into my creativity versus I have to control this and I have to do this. I'd rather, it be said that that's what it is versus just me trying to handle everything because I want to be in that much control. No, I wish there was a record company that would actually take care of me the way that I take care of myself. That's not going to happen because a mother's children, they won't be taken care of well by anyone else but the mother and the father because you deliver your children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one takes care of your children like you do. And my music is also my baby. So, yeah.
Those are details you talk about in your course, Strive from Within,
Correct.
the Jazzmeia Horn approach. Still taking students? No, you're maxed out.
7,000 is a lot. I love people and I appreciate people. And right now we're trying to I only speak 7 languages, and the languages that I speak are not necessarily the languages that I need for this course. I don't speak Japanese. I don't speak Mandarin.
They're coming from all over like that?
Yes.
Okay.
So some of the things, I'm trying to, they understand musically when I do it. So if I'm there at their university or at their college, we were just in Singapore and the students were able to understand, one, because they speak English, but there were a lot of them that, didn't speak English well. But when I created examples for them and showed them how to do it, they got it right away. I'd like to do more of that, but with 7,000 students, and a tour and homeschooling, I don't see it happening.
We so much appreciate the, I guess, grace that comes from the art form of music, your chosen work,
Thank you.
where you don't have to control everything by command
Right.
and dictate, but it's good to see you flow in these areas and to see the result, because you can tell the love that goes into it, the care that goes into it.
Thank you.
The part about your voice, if I could get one tiny little lesson.
Okay.
In finding your voice. Did it happen when you won the Monk competition?
No.
When did you discover that, this is my voice, this is who I am?
Well, there's two aspects of that, right? There's the I'm a 3-year-old child and people are telling me to sing, and I'm hearing the choir, and I'm also hearing in my head my mother's voice because she was my first teacher, and my grandmother's voice because she was my first teacher, you know? So I'm hearing their voices, and I don't hear the difference between my voice and their voice because it's almost like it's connected. That was my first teacher. So I'm 5, 6, 7, first grade, and the choir teacher is not teaching in the same way that my grandmother teaches me. So now I'm hearing that my voice is different from everybody else around me. At home, I fit right in because it's my family, but at school, I had a hard time fitting in. Most of the schools that I went to until I was in junior high school were predominantly white. You know, Texas is a very interesting state. And so going to school and learning classical music and, you know, learning arias and things in first grade, second, third grade, you know, different songs and pieces, choral pieces was a little bit difficult. But that was the first time where I'm like, oh, like I have to carry my note. I'm not relying on someone around me to show me how to do it. I've actually got to stand firm in this section. That's the first part. And then after knowing that I have the voice, allowing the voice to develop by seeking and holding on to and grasping in the same way that I grasped my mother and my grandmother's concept, the concept of Abby Lincoln, the concept of Sarah Vaughan, the concept of Little Jimmy Scott, the concept of Brandy, you know, Moesha, the concept of Jill Scott, like really learning their vocabulary because they all have their own styles. And I was like, well, what is my style? Like, what does that even mean? Who am I going to be? Because I'm searching for that within all of these other people that I'm inspired by. You know, a saxophone player listens to, you know, train for hours and hours and years and days before he or she decides to learn exactly how to project their own voice. And it's the same thing for a vocalist. So during the Sarah Vaughan competition, which was in 2012 and 2013, particularly 13 because that's the year that I won, they came backstage and they said, listen, you've already played 2 songs. You've done East of the Sun and Misty or whatever. And we really want to hear you. We're hearing Sarah Vaughan. You're not here for us to hear Sarah Vaughan again. She has already lived her life and created, you know, wonderful records and legacy. And it's your time to put down what it is that you want to put. What's your stamp? And I was like, what are they talking about? What does that mean? And my friend was like, look, just go out there and do what you do at jam sessions and do what you do on your gigs. Don't make this about trying to win the Sarah Vaughan competition. Just be you. Her name is Wanda Darden. She was like, just be you. I was like, okay, I'm going to try, and won. And from that moment, I was like, oh, okay, it's all right for me to like really be myself. At that time, I hadn't really studied Betty Carter. It was mostly Sarah Vaughan. And then one of my mentors said, you know who Betty Carter is? I was like, no. And they were like, there's a Jazz Ahead program that you should participate in and you should hear about and you should know about. You should study Betty Carter. And it was on and popping. It was on and popping. That lady set me free. She set me free because I'm thinking, you know, being in a society where classical music has more of a reverence, so to speak, than jazz in certain arenas. And at jazz concerts, it's so cute, and you have to clap as if it is a European standard. And it is not, and it should not be. But seeing that in college and that idea being put on me, you know, in school and in the jazz community to a certain extent, made me feel like I couldn't be expressive in my music. So that's why I chose the Sarah Vaughan route, because she has a really deep timbre, a really, really high-pitched voice. Her range is incredible. And I thought, if I just fit into this little box, then I'll be accepted, versus let me just be myself.
It sounds like when you were yourself or liberated to be yourself or to try that or just do that, and it worked, the light bulb came on and said,
Absolutely.
"Oh, yeah,
It was over.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
well done, you got it." Lesson
Thank
learned.
you.
Your latest iteration of your voice is the album Messages.
Yes.
And we're excited about what you're doing. Coming off of Noble Force, large ensembles, something smaller to work with, a lot of original music. Describe Messages for us.
Messages is the ultimate record. I'm so proud of this record. I've never been, I don't want to boast, but I've never been more proud of myself in my entire life. This record means so much to me because, yes, it is mostly my original compositions, but I am not polished in the voice in terms of let's go into the studio and fix this and fix that. Now, this is my first trio record without a record company telling me what to do. The Noble Force, I'm kind of hiding behind the big band. I'm stepping out, but I'm like, hey, y'all, I'm here. With Messages, I'm like, this is what you gonna get. You can take it or you gonna leave it. And more than likely, you're not just gonna leave it because it is a message. It's empowering. And it's mostly, like I said, it's mostly original compositions, but I have a tendency to do that because I love standards. Like I love the sound of the standard, not necessarily the messages behind them. Like
Yeah, there's some
I'll
crazy
never-
messages
there's
in those
some-
standards.
Some of them I'm like, no, I will never. Like Love for Sale, I'll never sing that. But I appreciate the musicians that I was able to work with on this record. I appreciate their willingness to just bend and be flexible and just go with. They all just were like, all right, it's Jazzmeia. We just gonna trust her. We don't know what she's talking about, but she wrote this part and let's do it how she said. And then they did it and they're like, oh, light bulb, let's do it again. Next take, we're winning,
Right. The record is called Messages.
Yes.
And it's brand new, and we are excited about
Thank you.
its release. Thank you for sharing some songs
Absolutely.
from Messages here at KUVO.
Yes.
And thank you for sharing your gift with the world. We really appreciate it, and your visit to KUVO.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.